Hello everybody, welcome to Impromptu Stream Again broadcast thing. Wow, what is this? Well, I'm just stealing views now at this point. This is just stealing views from Jimmy. This is his Discord decided to host a DTM 92 series of races, and I felt like broadcasting them. So it's gonna be one of these more casual broadcasts. I'm still gonna share out OVRC all the time, but that's just something you gotta live with that. I'll be doing a bit myself today because I am a maniac. That's why. So I'm going to quickly. So, DTM cars. The first race is at the Nürburgring, the GP layout, to be precise. And here's my number one car to be biased towards because broadcast you have to be biased towards a certain car. This is Thomas Jensen. I have to be biased towards him because OVRC. But we've got a couple of well-known people in here. Actually, we have got Jimmy Broadbent. We've got Game Muscle James West. And I believe George Ordener should be coming in at some point. Don't know when, but apparently he might be here. I can't find him on the list though of the current stand. It's gonna be a bit bulk. I did join in halfway through the session, so it will eventually. There he is. In a. It's bouncing around. So yeah, it's a bit buggy because I did join in halfway through the stream and not just be like a normal person and start doing it at the correct time. So 30 seconds left in qualifying practice to go, and it's not really much to go. We've got Peter Duke in the Mercedes. Most popular car on the server is the Mercedes. So that's not surprising at all. It's the most popular car in this class. I don't have much experience with these cars, to be fair. So practice is over now. So it's going to couple of cars will be ending soon. We see some cars spin out. And we're moving on to qualifying for race one. There's 4 races in this little mini series. As such, I believe. Let me check what they are. It's Hockenheim. No, but okay, so this may be the second one. Did I miss the first one? I don't know. Right, so we're going to hop into qualifying. So everyone's going to rush out. Who's going to be first on track position? It's going to be the person in 16th, which is going to be Peter Robertson. So he's first on track. He's got track position, so he's going to have all the advantages in his favour. And this should be interesting to see. Because I have no idea, like, the nature of this whole event is you get all sorts of people you don't know. It's unlike a normal league scenario. You got some familiar faces after a while. This is completely random. This is all sorts of people. So it's going to be interesting to see what sort of drivers. I believe Peter Robertson's track position lost to the person 20th, which is Kapsvov. I'm going to probably butcher up people's names as normal per normal of this broadcast. It's come to what you expect. It's just normal for me to screw the names up. So he's kind of Kapskov got track position as everyone's on the out lap, so no time to lapse will be set yet. And while I wait for this outlap, I'm quickly going to get myself some water. Well, that was quick. I'll try and avoid having the background noise of the fan, by the way. There's a fan on the background. So, Catsdale starts his timed lap as we head on board with him. Because why not have a quick tour of the lap of the Nürburgring GP layout? We're heading into the marina. Not the marina. The Mercedes Arena. It's not a marina because we're nowhere near the sea. Don't know why I said that. I just did. So, down we go, and then I'm gonna get my track. I'm not prepared at all for this. This is literally a case of, oh yeah, let me just broadcast a race out of nowhere. I'm not prepared at all. Should have probably waited, but who cares? It's too late now. It is too late. It's all gone wrong. So as Katsukov heads towards the sector line. Of course, it's going to be at the fastest, Sector 1, because there's no one else. There's a car, I believe, went off earlier. I can't tell which car it is. It's one of the Audis in front, has gone off the track. I believe the game volume is quite low, so I'll quickly turn it up for you guys, so you guys have a bit of better experience. Still very quiet. Can't really change it now. Right, now down to effectively a straight. It's not. There's obviously a kink in it, but it acts as a straight because you go flat out through this corner here up to the chicane. There's two chicanes, and you guys. Chicane's a very tricky place to get right. You can lose a lot of time on it if you get it wrong. It's just very important to get that chicane moved right, and that is a lap of very poorly commentated of the Nürburgring. Well, that is very poor broadcast. As we get some time lapses, George Orner fastest Sector 1 overall. Jordan obviously is a part of Sector 3. He does all the PR work and the videos and all those fancy pit videos you see, and so it's good to see him involved in the community, and he is quite active, to be fair, so I can't knock him for that at all. Not biased at all. So into the chicane go, does lose a bit of time in into the chicanes. A lot of traffic up ahead of the other cars, so hopefully you can get past that. I now have my track map, so this should be a bit easier. There we go. Track map acquired. So, Catskov sets another fastest Sector 1. This is now the game of cat and mouse as such, as drivers trying to set the fastest times very early in the session. It goes back and forth between drivers, and it's the most interesting part of qualifying. But the middle part of qualifying is a bit dull, because it's just the nature of it, and then you get a couple of last minutes where everyone tries to push as much as they can out. Will he continue this game in Sector 2? Yes, he does. So this will be probably quite a little bit faster lap than George Jordan has set. Jordan is still only second. Kapskov is currently P1 in the session. And there's another Mercedes spun around there. And he spins around again, so don't be doing that in the race. And he does not gain, I believe. I don't have my telemetry up, unfortunately. I do normally have that. But again, this happens when you rush a stream out. Ross Stewart sets a personal fastest Sector 1. You can see the pace difference between the top drivers and the person all the way in 9th. There's a 1.5 second gap. I mean, the difference between third and first is a 2 second gap almost. So See if we can see a couple more high-profile drivers start setting times. Only 12 here set times out of a server of 27 cars. Let's head towards the final corner now. It's just we only have one Opal, which is very upsetting. Honestly, we need to see more as Ross Stewart keeps himself in P9. And James West puts himself into P3, so that is a good lap by him. Still 2.2 seconds off the pace. As we have more private sector improvements, 2 seconds off the pace in terms of Eddie here in the BMW. We actually have got all the cars though currently on the server, which is nice to see. Where it's nice to see when we got a class of all the vehicles being used, not just a few. I mean, obviously the Mercedes is the most popular, followed by the BMW, but there's an Opel, there's a couple of Audis, there's a Mustang, 2 Mustangs actually. Bernard here in P4 right now, looking to improve his Sector 1. He is a lot faster this lap. It does seem, compared to his previous timed lap. He's in the 18 livery Mercedes, which is the Tim's one. Kurt Tim's car, which he used in the 92 season. Puts himself into P3, 1.6 seconds off the top speed pace right now as he pulls over to the side to let other cars through. Chris Howard in P7 improves to Sector 1. And we're slowly going to start seeing the times eventually get closer and closer, but those top 2 are in a league of their own right now in terms of pace, and Chris Howard has aborted this lap. And I believe this is Naf, which is a person which is a regular of the OVRC. Most people won't get that, but there you go. He is currently driving right now in the BMW M3. Heading up towards the chicane. Bit squirrely through there, which is expected in these cars. These cars don't have any downforce at all to speak of, really, apart from a little wing on the back. It's all about the mechanical grip, and they don't have much of that either. They are 90s era tyres, and tyres have moved a long way since this time. He puts himself into P5. It was Jimmy Broadbent himself in the Audi. Interesting pick to pick literally a boat, forward drive boat. He cutting all the way down on P13, so where will he put himself? Is a faster that, but still not near the top end. Still a few people yet to set times. There's 28 cars currently on the server as he drifts it round the final corner there. Very easy to control though in this car because you can just use the forward drive, put the power down, and you just drive out of it. And he puts himself into P12 to improve his time, I believe. Another one of the Audis of Chris Howard. He's in P14 right now. With 4 minutes left of the session, where will people put themselves as time will be slowly running out for some drivers? Final corner now. I didn't realize this corner is apparently called Coca-Cola. Don't know if that's correct, but that's what this track map says it's called. And Howard puts himself into P4, so that was a much improved lap compared to his last. Still 1 second off the top runners. Another one of the Audis. A bit sideways through there. May not be the fastest line through. And it seems to have Bottas this lap as well. Bridport, another one of the Mercedes drivers on the Mercedes in front, gets a bit loose there, but does just go back on the racing line, so it does not seem to have Bottas lap, which is not the smartest thing, I'd say. If you do make a mistake, and he goes very wide onto the gravel in the Schumacher S, nearly makes contact with Bridport. Bridport eventually does make a clean pass around him, but not where you want to be where you got having a car trying to fight you for position during qualifying. Into the chicane now. As the car Mercedes goes behind, does go into the wall there, bounces halfway across the track. Luckily not into the driving line, but at the best of Bridport head gets across the line 24th. But another one of the Mercedes going around in P18. And you look at the side graph, it's actually too many cars for it right now. It only goes for 26 cars, so it's just how busy this session is for how many cars are currently on here. And so, again, look at the number of Mercedes there. Quite a lot of BMWs as well, though, so it's good to have that. But Mercedes still the most popular car as Saunders across the line to P13. There's a few people still not to set times. There's actually only this driver yet to set a time as he gets a bit sideways into out of turn 12. But I believe this is still an outlap. Joe is currently going around in P14. He's one of the people that set up this event, so it's very nice of him to get this all set up and with the admins over at the Discord. It's very wide at the Schumacher S's though, so not the best line to take. And there's qualifying over. I'm going to quick look at the results before it does ping away. So Katskov does take pole with Jordan sharing the second row, and that's all time for because it changes over. Fortunately, now we have the fun time, which is the garage slot where we wait for everyone to slowly get ready to head out. Of course, the standing grid doesn't work. Hasn't been fixed yet. Not my problem. Those are the cars slowly start lining up on the grid. Look in the Nurburgring, we can see the red lights. So it means we can actually do a proper countdown to when they go green. Which is always nice. Some checks camera's a bit off. Nurburgring's a nice camera. So everyone's now on the grid. Sweet, the lights will go red, and here we go, ready to start this 30-minute race, and off we are going as Katskov gets a very good start, but I think George Auden managed to get the jump on him. Heading down into turn 1 he goes, a lot of cars moving around, it's a very full grid right now. And they go 3 wide, it seems, going to turn 1. It's Thomas Jensen sneaking up the inside in the Opel. Doesn't make any positions up. He stays in P4. And George orders the man to get away. Some of the cars behind go a bit wide there. Fighting for position. As one of the Audi tries to go round outside of the Opel, outside of the Mercedes, really into turn 6. There we go. Get my bearings. Turn 6. The cars will go. There's a nice little train forming up behind. As one of the Opel goes very wide out the exit there of turn 7, down into the Dunlop hairpin. The cars do go a bit sideways there, but nothing major yet in this front-running pack. Some cars are struggling a bit for grip, but that should hopefully come as the tyres warm up a bit. As I believe Catskov is trying to look for a move on to George Ordner on the first lap already, so he's going to get his position back. And that is a lot of cars coming down. Now down towards turn 13 they go, which is a little kink down towards the chicane. Chicane is the one the BMW tries to go around the down through the chicane, does cut it. I believe he loses a bunch of time for doing so. The Audi gets very wide and knocks the BMW off. Line BMW takes a very, very close to the pit wall there. And then the Audi pulls out as well as Catskov looks to make the move around the outside, but it doesn't look like he can make it. No, he doesn't. He stops in behind. Meanwhile, on the back, here's a couple of cars fighting as Naf makes a move onto Thomas Jensen. He's now got to deal with another Audi's up ahead. Speaking like Thomas Jensen's looking to make his move back onto Naf after he lost it just in a couple of corners before. And at Catskov is trying to make the move again onto George Ordner for current lead in this race. And this is not in 10 minutes gone past yet, so it's still all to play for. Through the Schumacher S's up the hill now before you head into turn 11, turn 12, which then starts the downhill part of the track. As the pack behind us slowly split up, as is sort of inevitable in this sort of case. There's a bit of time going through the hairpin there. Just going for another go into turn 1. Gets all the slipstream right now. Pulls out fully inside. He will have the inside line going to turn 1. As the BMW looks to make a move as well. Trying to capture, like, follows Mercedes, just stops him behind for now. And now George Ordner's got the inside line. BMW seems to be always taking the best line he can because he doesn't have to really worry about the other car. And may have just slipped down the inside of Catskov there. So that was Hilbrand in the BMW, the brightly coloured BMW. The Audi, though, is slowly closing in behind. So that is a change for position in the top 3 cars for the podium positions. So up they go towards the Schumacher. 'S. 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 ' You can sort of see the long train, which is slowly split up after lap 1. Lap 1, the cars were very close together. The cars are now slowly splitting up as Catskills don't make the move around the BMW once again. Goes around the outside into turn 12. Or does he? He actually slots in behind for now. Doesn't make the move work. Have a quick look between this fight, because this fight is a fight. Oh, and the Mustang gets in the way of Buckley, gets in the way as one of the Mercedes has gone out there. That's Dom GTR there having a slight issue as sort of fight here. Jimmy Broadbent trying to make a move work on the back of Buckley's Mustang. As Buckley makes a move onto James West into turn 1. A bit of a lock up there. You can see in front as the Mustang goes a bit sideways through there. Loses a lot of traction there. No one's been to see for turn 1. They're seeing their car sideways. Lucky the Mustang doesn't completely lose it. Manages to get back in the right direction. So ahead of these lot is Charles Darling. It's got a little pack in front of him as well. As so between 8th to 11th, there's a little pack as you can see there, led by Suluk in the Patrick in the number 36 Tic Tac BMW. There's plenty of fights going on all over up and down the grid right now. I believe there's been another change in the leaders. As the Hilbrand goes off at the chicane, and me leave. Chance for the other cars to move through. Does it? No, maybe. So it's forced to go wide on the outside. And the position's just moving too much to really get a close bearing on what's going on here. Has Thomas Jensen in the back with the Opal managed to catch up to these lot as well? Audi goes around the outside, so the Audi's made a position up. Now can the Opal make a position up as well? Does look like he's just going to have the inside line for the next corner. It looks like he does manage to make the move. So, Kaskov star pole is now all the way down to P5. As this little pack here keeps trying to go, as George Lawrence is slowly breaking away. One of my predictions, I don't know. I can't tell. I don't know. I only know like 5 of the drivers here. I don't know how good all of them are. I could just be to pick the bias pick. Anyway. Speaking of known people, there's Jimmy Broadbent and James West going at it. Gaia Muscle, who is in the BMW behind the Audi of Jimmy Broadbent. Let's see if these two can do anything to both for the camera, because they're both streaming. So obviously, if they take each other out, it'll be on camera, and it'll just be hilarious to see, to be fair. We've got to give all the screen time to these two, because these are the most two important people here. Got to get the views, guys. Got to get the views. Got to pander to the famous people. Saying that though, James, he's not saying Game of Muscle because it's James West here, and his name, which is labelled here, as lose a bunch of time there, and Buckley is coming in behind. Changes in the front pack as the Audi is trying to make a move onto the BMW. Here's how sideways they go through there. Like, I'm so used to watching GT cars and prototypes go around there. It's all planted and stuff. These cars are just going sideways. The BMW does lose a bunch of traction there and loses the position. So he's now in P3. There's a bit of side-by-side action going on behind between one of the Mercedes and the Opel. I'll keep track of what's going on because there's so much close racing going on. If you don't know how the spectator tool works, there's a bunch of green marks on all the cars which are in a second. And there's a lot of it, and it's very hard to tell because there's a bunch side-by-side action going on here between James West and the Mustangs. So that's going to be interesting. And now going back to the front again, James West, apparently a big cat's got made a mistake. He's dropped a second behind Thomas Jensen and the Opel. So he must have made a mistake going into turn 11. But it's a bit like that. I can't keep track of all of this. I'm not used to this. I'm going to have a co-commentator, but there we go. He is not feeling well, so I'm doing it all myself. More moves going on back in the back. There's one of the Audis has stopped. That's Chris Howard, and he's returned to the pits. So I guess that's another retirement. As it goes 3 wide here into turn 16. So there's action everywhere. How can I keep track of this? I can't. I can't keep track of all of this, what's going on. We're just going to stay with these guys for now, because that's 4 wide going into turn 1. As James West has managed to sneak through, the Mustang does seem to have lost out. There's one of the other Mercedes comes in as well to make a jab at it as well. And Mercedes is coming back once again to make a move, and the ultimate loser of all that is Buckley in the Mustang. He's dropped all the way back behind all of these cars. Into the Schumacher rest they go, and as the scene Buckley does not have quite the pace to keep up. And I just love it. I love Steam when it does that. I muted it. What does it? Doesn't care. There we go. Sorry about that. It's about the mild deaf to the ears. So we're going to soon hit the halfway mark. So things do slowly calm down. Saying that, all 4 of these cars are going for the chains. One of them does lose it. Goes very wide out the exit there. And does he lose all the positions? Not quite. A bit of contact there with the Mercedes. Don't actually know if damage is on. So I might be able to confirm that. Let's quickly go to our lead. The top 3 as Holbrand having another go at the Audi. And Thomas Jensen coming through. The Audi does lose a lot there, but the Audi, because of the 4-wheel drive, you can sort of put your foot down. The car will correct itself for the most part. George will slowly try to make a lead. It's not that big though. It's only like 3 seconds. I thought it'd be bigger by this point, with all the fighting going on behind. But there you go. There's another little pack. We've got little packs forming. which is annoying because all I want is one big pack, so I can just commentate on that. But not well, there are lots of small ones. It's impossible to keep commentating on what's going on. So on board with Kapskov and the Mercedes, all over the back of Thomas Jensen Opel. Into turn 11 they go. And Kapskov does seem to have made the move work. Now he's got the cars ahead to deal with. The Audi and the BMW with the inside line chicane, which then turns to the outside. I don't actually know the best line through there, because if you go down the inside, you take the inside line initially, but you go outside the exit. You take the outside, you go the... I don't know. Racecraft. Don't really get it. That's why I don't do it. I just commentate on it and sound like I know what I'm talking about. A bit further down the field, there's a couple of fights are going back down there. It's not just all at the front. It's not just all in the mid-pack. There's fights going on everywhere, and this is Joe having a go at Eddie in another BMW versus Mercedes fight. And this is all the way down in P18. We had 4 retirements, by the way, so anything above 25th does matter, because 25th is the retirement. Now we've got to go over to here because Dom GTR and James West having a little fight going on. And Dom GTR, that is not a GTR unfortunately, so you get disqualified immediately. As the rules, if you put a car brand in your name, you have to drive that car all the time. It's just the rules. And though he does try and look for the outside move onto James West, but doesn't do it, and might have just lost himself a position to the car behind. Side by side they go. No, he luckily does hold on to it for now. Once again, this little pack's closed in on each other once more, so... And this just keeps happening. Like, you think the packs are slowly split up. Oh, no, packs all back together again. Good news for George Orley. The gap he has now going to 5 seconds, so he's slowly making a back gap for it due to the amount of fighting going on behind for the last few podium positions. And that is still going on. As there we go, you can see it just now, into turn 1 they go. Audi down the inside, gonna have the outside land to the... I don't know if it's Mercedes Arena really, because I don't know how good it is for the racing, because it's so much go back and forth, There's not really a good line through it for racing, apart from the racing line. And that Audi's such a big boat. Look how big it is compared to the other cars. It's gigantic. And I believe Tom Jensen just snuck through there in the Opel. But they're now going side by side into Dunlop. Bit of argy-bargy going on. Completely fine in these cars. These cars are tanks. I don't even know if damage is enabled or not in this race. Could be, could be not. I have no idea. And I believe that Audi at some point is just going to lose it because he's going sideways so often. There's no way that is good for your stability and your tyres or your anything really. Under 10 minutes to go though, so maybe he'll survive as he does drop back now behind Thomas Jensen, who loses position to Kapskov. So let's go back to our favourite little mid-pack fight, as they're still all together, 5 cars, less than a second between them. So it shows you how these cars are really good for racing. They're close enough together, all have their strengths and weaknesses, and due to their sort of slidey nature, they're so easy to make a mistake in them. But I want to know where Jimmy Broadbent is in a no man's land right now. It's 2 seconds to the car in front, 8 seconds to the car behind him. So he's in no man's land, so he won't get any screen time. That's Bernard goes very wide out into turn 2. Trying to make the move onto James West. Don't think this camera's very good because the wheels all covered up by all the positions. That's a very long. As we go, another retirement, I believe. That brings the total cars of driving up to 23 left in the race. As Dom GTR does manage to make the move work. I mean, he's not even fighting. Originally, when we started going on board, it was between James West and Bernard. Now it's changed completely, and it just shows how much it changes all the time. You can't just like say 1 second, oh, that person is in that position. The next second, he loses 2 positions. It's amazing racing. Very hard to commentate on. Without just basically shouting for a solid 30 minutes. As the Mustang goes around the outside. Did I say that Jamie Broadbent is in the middle of nowhere? Because he's now got a Mustang in front of him, a Charles Darling. So Charles Darling's made a mistake because he was on the back of Patrick in front of him. He's now dropped to 1's time, and now we have someone having a good old brawl with him in the... Now, one thing is, the Mustang is the most uncompetitive car. It just is. It was in real life, and it is mostly in this game. There's a bit of balanced performance placed in here, obviously, but the Audi should in theory demolish it. Audi has forward drive, and there we go. He's got the run on him now. That's the wrong button. There we go. On board now. On the luxury cruise liner. Down to Dunlop. Just seem to have lose some time, which is surprising because the Audi should in theory be superior through the corners. Seeing he taking the sliding approach to trying to deal with the situation rather than the more methodical approach. Let's go back a bit to Dom GTR. He's having a fight with James West. He was ahead of him for a split second. The Mustang in front goes very wide there, out of the exit of turn 12, or bit, as it's called apparently on this track map. Don't know if that's correct. It's the track map I found. Could mean anything. And somehow Buckley's managed to end up in front of all these guys, so just goes to show how much can change in a couple of seconds. Under 5 minutes to go now. Going to the quick fight for the lead, the podium spots. Has managed to close in the back of Hillbrand, as the Audi which was fighting with these lot earlier, has appeared to have dropped down quite a bit. He's 6 seconds behind Thomas Jensen. A bit of bumper cam action as they go side by side, so it's probably a bad idea. Let's go to external cam very quickly. Doesn't look like he made the move work as he has to take the outside line into the chicane. George's lead has dropped down though. As one of the cars just drove out the pits. Interesting. Don't know why. Just did. Go back a bit. There's a side more firefighting in this little pack here. And I believe actually has another car closed in the slot? Yes, there has. Peter Duke has also closed into the back of this little pack, so well, the Mustang is breaking away slowly. Another car enters. Going to more close racing. Jimmy's having another go at Charles Darling. And that does go very wide, so obviously I just cursed him. As I believe the tyres are slowly going to start wearing on these cars at this rate. Don't believe there is any multipliers added to these cars, but these cars still chew for your tyres, especially when you're driving very aggressively with them. Two minutes left to go. Down the inside, maybe, maybe not. Doesn't look like you'll be able to do it. Hello, by the way. I believe we've got a quick notice the server will be restarting after this race. Just to shorten the race time. As as car goes down the inside into the final corner. Car is spun out there because a bunch of dust kicked up. Hopefully he'll pull out the way of all this, the leading pack coming through. Jimmy Broadbent is still stuck behind Charles Darlings, and the little pack is still very close together. It does seem that Dom GTR has managed to break past James West finally, managed to get quite a bit of a gap. So this will be the last lap. Heading through down towards Dunlop now, the leaders. As you can top three all on screen just for a second there. And back on screen for a second again. As we quickly go down the order again to sort of pack, there's a bit more overtakes going on all the way down here. The pack is slowly breaking up though, as Dom GTR has made it past Connor Buckley. Jimmy is now trying to make a move into Dunlop on to Charles Darling. Can the four-wheel drive of the Audi manage to pull past? Not for now. Up they go once again up the hill. And that is race time over, so So a extra braking have to go on there, I believe. As Jordan does cross the line, heads onto the final straight now. Make sure we tab back, and he does take the race victory here at the Nürburgring in these DTM 92s, as the rest of the pack do cross the line. A bit of fuffle going on back here. Some of the cars do lose position. Don't actually know who crossed the line there, sideways there, but unfortunately Jimmy does not manage to make the move onto Charles Darling and has to settle for P8. Duca hits the wall there on the final lap. Not a bit of, that's a chicane wall. He's going to lose. He lost a lot of positions there. I don't want to be doing that. Where's he now? I can't tell. The order's jumping all over the place. He falls all the way down to P17. And there he goes. The last couple of cars crossing the line now. The last couple of cars now. The couple of cars now are quite far back. Ross Stewart heads across the line. There we go. We're gonna last few still to go through, and then we're. And there is your results. Jordan Organ takes race 1. Is this race 1? I don't know. And Capscal P2. Is it a bugbear? What? Vincent P4. And there you go. It's going to scroll down because I can't read it. Too slow. This is race 2. Okay, I did miss the first one. I don't know when it's starting and all. I was out actually, to be fair. So, right. So we'll be going down. So quickly we'll go to this lovely AFK screen. Absolutely amazing, high quality, 10 out of 10. So, oh, it's Norris Ring. It's Norris Ring. It's Norris Ring. So, Norris Ring. Bom, 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 bom. No cars out on track, but it's Norris Ring, so it's like... So Norris Ring is literally a couple of corners. It's literally no corners. Oh, naff. Yeah, it's too hot. That's why I'm a fan, not racing. So if you don't know, Norris Ring is... Hang on, I'm going to get a proper track map for Norris Ring. Because I need one. There we go. Apparently this track is 8 turns, technically. It doesn't. It's lying. So, Norris Ring. How does this track work? It is technically 8 turns, it's really only about 4. It's got kink. The track map literally has to make any kink a corner. That's how little corners this has. As one of the opals there decides to go around out the exit of turn 5. I'll use the correct names because otherwise it'll just be wrong. But that's really turn 4, technically. No, it's not turn 1, it's turn 3. Kinky. You're not going to race in this one, Nath. So we have a lap time. Woo, 53 seconds. So you can understand how quick the circuit is. 53 seconds a lap for 30 minutes. There's a bit of a dive bomb there. Someone's going very slowly. It's only practice. Nothing really matters though. It's honestly, it's going to be chaos. It's going to be 30 minutes of utter chaos, this race, and I'll tell you that now. I'm not too worried about the times. I'm not too worried about in practice. I'm just going to have a good relax because I'm going to die in this race. Speaking of that, there is a couple of opals out. There's 3 opals this time compared to 1 last time. But the BMW train and Mercedes trains are still going strong. Look at that sideways you go out of the chicane. Down into turn 6 we go. Oh look, it's such a corner. It's like a kink. Oh, turn 7 now. And a bit of a punt going on in front as 2 cars are in the barrier. We don't be seeing that. That's not a good thing. As car decides to roll in the pits. As more cars spin out at the end of turn 7. Oh boy! Oh, and then we turn to the pits. There's Joe. Look at him in his little Mercedes. So turn 7 is causing... To be fair, turn 7 is a spinning point on this track. It's odd. It just causes spins. Be very careful on the throttle there. So the race after this would be Zolder. Okay, Zolder. Zodo. It's the meme track. Am I Bull or Northern? I'm neither. I'm neither of those things, Izzy. There's so many opals. There's 3 of them. It's like more in real life than real life. Zolder's is going to be they say you cut the course. You gotta slow down and give up the time gained. That's the Gimme Zolder. Predict it now. Speaking of GM, he's in an Audi right now. There'll be a hilarious race to do on this track at some point. FR17Xs. FR17X plus X equals just the stupidest race ever. We're going to have a world record right now as he crosses the line. He puts himself with a 52.7. That is the world record. No, it's not. I did this another world record on this track. Someone can get it up for me. That'd be lovely, because I'm not going to look it up. That's not my job. To be fair, I think the Audis are going to have advantage here. They're going to have all the traction. They're going to have all the exit, and it's a bunch of slow hairpins here. You want all that traction. .79 is the record. I guess that's more than DTM. Oh, slammed in the wall. That's one slam into the wall caught on camera. Hey, look, it's Joe. Again. He's selling a personal best. He's got an open in front of him. A slow. Oh, there we go, dead. Slam into the wall. Number 2 on camera. His name was like Arnaf or something. N.A. Naf or something stupid like that. I guess to get around SRS or something. Oh look, it's Kapskov again. He's back in the same car again. How dull. Oh, dead car there. Oh, look, it's Thomas Jensen. Again, it didn't slam in the wall. Honestly, I expect on the first lap at least 6 cars to slam into that wall there. No money on it though, because I'm not stupid. It's Anzo Jack Potato Racing. Don't think so. Where's where? Okay, George Orden's there. James West is there. Jimmy Broadbent. So that's like. Is that on the mic when I'm speaking, or just in the game? It should be gone now. Sorry, forgot about something to do. I forgot to unplug my power supply from pedals. There we go, it'll be gone now. It'll be all gone. It's the G29 has a terrible. Well, no, the mod mic has a really bad installation on it. So if any like current goes through the computer, there was any for pro streamer. I am the pro streamer. Yeah, I forget about it because I can't hear it because my sound comes from an optical cable to a hi-fi to my headphones, so I don't have any other interference. Oh, more issues there. By the way, if you're watching an OVR stream, you won't get any of this interaction at all because we are too busy focusing on being professional. This is a very casual broadcast because it has terrible shielding. It does have terrible shielding, and you can get another. The good thing about it is, apart from the cable from the mod mic itself to the mute dock, the other cable you can change over a different one. So if you just get a better cable for that, it's just a regular 3.5 mic jack. If you just do that, you fix the issue. Oh, another car into the wall. That's how you fix that issue. Anyway, currently got 25 cars on the server, 20 cars at a time lap on Norris Ring. I mean, I know Gamer Muscle uses a mod mic, but he's got a fancy amp he throws everything into. Oh, another car on the wall. Well, George Osner, he's out on track, so he is a slightly try-hard. Oh look, it's dumb GTR going round. Again, I'm not really particularly fussed about practice at all, because it's Norris Ring. It is literally anything can happen. That's totally a GTR, as you can see. Running out of fuel on the last lap. NAFNAF have some nightmares about that. See, it's some far, literally, I have a list of. So if you don't, again, this has a list of suggested cars you should look at. The entire list is full of fastest in private sectors. How am I going to know which one to follow? I still made a video of that, by the way, Naf. Anyway. Right, practice is going to be over in 0. There we go. Practice is done. We will now move into qualifying. Soon. There we go. It is now qualifying time. Who's going to be first out on track? In the inevitable... And we have a winner. It is the car of Wilden as he breaks his way out of the pit lane first. So he has track position in this qualifying. Will it matter? Probably not, because there's 26 cars going around Norris Ring. So a car is going to pull it out as he exits the pit, he goes past the pit lane. It is almost guaranteed it's going to happen. And it goes round turn 7. And off he goes onto the back straight now as he starts his first time lap of Norris Ring. Let's actually go on board for this lap. So you get to experience Norris Ring. As I told you, cars coming up the pit lane as he's going his first final lap. Brake at the 100 meter board into turn 2 technically. I call it turn 1. And you got to put basically full lock on to get around. It is a very, very sharp hairpin. Now you go down into through turn 3, technically into turn 4, which is the start of the chicane. Got to go very close to the wall as possible and try not to brush the wall on the exit. And you got another short sprint down to turn 6, which is a minor kink in the road. And now into turn 7, a current hotspot for spinning. Avoid the wall, don't touch it like that. Avoid the wall and exit. Full throttle now, down through turn 8, and then the back straight. And that is Norris Ring, everyone. That is literally Norris Ring, done in 53 seconds. As we get the first couple of timed laps coming through now, it's going to be a case of I can't follow all of these. There's a huge train of cars there. Right, number 12, you've been spelled. Robertson, where are you going to end up? Slipstreaming. Puts himself P9. I'm actually having to use the track map and it's pressing anyone that goes through turn 7. Is that car being dented in the front? Car with a bit of bodywork damage in the front. Patrick puts himself into P. I missed it. It's too late now. There's so. Hang on, I need to get this up very quickly. Just to. Oh, one button. Come on, look. Look at that. Look how busy that track is. That's insane. Switching cars. He doesn't look like the Audi. Let me guess, doesn't have enough turning. Alright. Cars saying more and more. Oh, there's a big puff of smoke ahead. Don't know what caused that. There's an Opal to the side of the road there. That may have been Jimmy Broadbent as he's returned to the pits, or there's another one. I don't know. There's two Opals. One of the Audi sending a past as the cars go down the inside of him and then spins out. Will lose a bunch of time there because of that incident, and does not improve his time, actually losing nearly a second. Here comes Joe across the line. He's currently in P12. He goes to P12. He improves his time. It's impossible to keep track of what's going on here, by the way. It is literally impossible. What I really should just be doing is put a camera on the start-finish line and just going through and just listing people to go across the line. James West is back on the server, by the way. If you're interested, he is in the Tic Tac car again, so he just can't drive. Can't drive other cars. He can drive out the Porsche and that car. That's it. Right. He comes Hillbred across the line, puts himself into P3. Ross Stewart across the line. Where is he right now? He's P15. He will cross the line, puts himself into P10. Here comes Pink. Across the line, he's currently P17. Where he put himself? P13. It's just so much going on. Thomas Jensen sets a fast sector 2. And Thomas then across the line, puts himself into P2. Robertson comes across the line in the Mustang. Why does this car ever exist? I don't know. Oh, dead Mercedes in front, goes into the wall. Oh, Robertson stays in. He gets P19. George Ordner, where does he end up? He puts himself P7. So a bit slow there. There's Isaac going in the Audi. Isaac crosses the line, puts himself into P21. Thomas Jensen, another quickest, fastest sector 1, loses in sector 2, so he's not going to improve his time, he's going to stay P3. Alright, Jimmy Broadbent crawling across the line now. Sorry about talking and trying to protect my voice for the races. Jimmy Broad across the line, he's currently P8, he'll put himself into P7. Dom GTR is now heading through into turn 7 now, under heavy braking. Can he improve his opponent? P9. Stays P9. Broadcast across the line. Didn't actually know what happened there. Oh, it's a timed lap. Hey, look, it's James West in the Tic Tac car. He's currently P22. Puts himself P22. Doesn't improve. Bit loose coming out of turn 7 there. Again, it's a common spot where cars seem to be losing the back ends, and it happens in all sorts. I've raced here in GT3s, people lose it. Not on a TCR car, or WTCC I meant. The front wheel drive means they have to pull the traction along. GTR across the line, stays P9. Patrick slams into the wall there. I don't think that's the quickest way of going through that corner, is slamming into a wall. There's a bunch of Mustangs bunched up here. What a hectic qualifying. Who thought Norris thing was a good idea? I don't understand how actual commentators do this, because it's just too much stuff going on. Riley crosses the line, P23. Paul Hans, currently P15. A bunch more lockups again in front. Stays P15. Lorenzo. It's a few Americans, there's 2. Both driving the correct car. Lorenzo is still P1. Dom GTR. Oh, Dom GTR, I'll lose it into turn 7. Paul Hans looking to improve his sectors. Oh, car behind loses a bunch there. I can't tell which it is because 3 cars of the Tic Tac livery. Makes it very hard to distinguish. George Osner was going fast, but Lisa pulled out this lap. Connor Buckley is going around in the Opel. An Opel right behind him as well. Buckley stays in position. I believe qualifying will slowly slow down now in terms of new times, as everyone sort of reaches the maximum potential of their cars. Then we're going to see much more improvement in terms of positions. A bunch of cars go very sideways there out of the chicane. Oh, car turned around there. Last year across the line, P13 still for him. I don't think we've seen much more. This couple of people are pulling into the pits with 1 minute left in this qualifying session. I don't think many people are setting new times. A lot of people are just returning to the pits because honestly, there's no real point to keep going out at this point. It does mean if you are out, it's the best chance you have of setting a fastest time with the least amount of traffic possible. Bit of contact there by Jensen to the wall. It's only helping him turn a bit more. And he crossed the line, he stays P3, and that'll be pretty much qualifying over. There's your results for the session. Not much more is going to change, I believe, from now on. It's going to be the last race for Jimmy. Apparently he's got something with his knee, which is not very nice to have. Reminds me of my back issue I had a while back, which actually basically killed me from racing and led to me being very terrible at racing now. I didn't race for like nearly a week. Right. It's the final countdown before we start going racing. Right. Cars all start to line up on the grid. Well, he's got an issue with his knee, so using the clutch a lot is not going to be helping. He's got quite heavy brakes. Anyway, off we go for the Norrisring race as Lorenzo gets a very good start. So does Thomas Jensen, gets a very good start as there's a bunch of cars heading to turn one now. What's going to happen? This is going to be utter chaos, I believe, as cars go all around. Do we get smoothly? One car going very slowly there. Lights off, ignition off or something. And I believe everyone got through okay apart from Kaskov. Which is very surprising. Now go through the chicane. A couple of cars are going out. One car against another car. 2 cars, 3 cars spun out. 4 cars. A couple of cars have gone off there. Now into turn 7. I'm trying to keep track of what's going on here. It's very difficult. Come on. Okay, seems to be everyone's getting through turn 7 okay. And there we go. 1 lap completed of the Norris Ring. Honestly, I'm not going to bother with that. I'm sorry, I can't. The gap is just going to be too hard to really see on stream. So I'm just going to have to... Oh, Thomas Jensen making the move for P1. Going to have the advantage coming to chicane, but the Audi is going to have the traction coming out the corner. Does he manage to make it happen? No, he doesn't, as all those cars come flooding through the chicane there. Right, Lorenzo going to have the inside line, a bit of a lock-up coming into turn 7. Jensen managed to go straight past him, and that lock-up did cost him a couple of seconds, which meant that Jensen now can take the lead, but the Audi does have the straight line advantage. I'm pretty sure it does anyway. Right, into turn 1. Let's go back a bit as a big pack of cars. Everyone's still fighting behind. Car does lose a bit of contact there, and that's not very good to see. Going through the first corner, managed to get out okay, but you don't really want to be spinning there. That's Charlie Darling going on in the BMW. He's currently behind Buckley. Hilbrand side by side with Charlie Darling. We have a car with 1 retirement already. I believe Joe has retired. And Dom GTR seems to have spun all the way back the pack. He's going very slowly out of turn 7, so he's has some sort of issue going on. Right, into turn 7 they go. As Thomas Jensen's made quite a bit of a lead so far. This seems to be currently the best pack to look at. Oh, one of the Audis are slammed into the wall there. That was the car of Josh. Don't be slamming the car too hard there. A bit of tyre smoke coming into turn 7. Also, unlock one of the. No, it's Patrick there, and the BMW lost it there in turn 7 and spun out, so he's going to lose a couple of positions. How long till lap traffic? I don't know. Side by side going to turn 1 or turn 2. Can't make the move work, or does he lose the position? I can't tell. Full hands, closing on the back of Jimmy Broadbent. Side by side that go down the main straight. George Warner closing in the back of Buckley. Bit of contact there going on the inside. Bit more contact on the exit. Patrick going side by side with Pink. Gonna have the outside extra chicane. And slams into the wall a bit. I'm pretty sure in real life that wall's gonna get slowly thinner. Just how many cars have hit it. Right round they go. Patrick does not unfortunately make the position up. George Orton having another go on the back of Buckley. Just going the same move as Buckley takes a very aggressive line and does compromise his exit somewhat and does go now side by side with George Ordner. Heading in, but does manage to cut in front. Bit of a risky cut there. Joanna goes down the inside in turn 7 and does make the position work. So he managed to make an overtake onto Buckley. Can Buckley manage to make the position at back? Seems unlikely. Saying that, trying to make the move around the outside. Ordner going to go very deep into the corner. Can't quite get close enough to make a move work. Full hands, trying to close on the back of Jimmy Broadbent. This gets forced very wide out. Buckley is now right on the back of George Ordner once again. There's just too much stuff to keep track of. I'm just gonna leave it for a bit, and hopefully it may calm out a bit. Unlikely. Side by side again with George Ordner. And Buckley does loses the back end thus then, coming out of it, and doesn't lose a position luckily, but does lose a bunch of time onto George Ordner. The reason is what? Oh, and with a car turned around, I believe that is a back marker though. Yeah, the back marker. So we have back marker traffic now in full effect, I believe. Actually, I'm going to quickly check the map. Not yet. They are gaining though. Actually, speaking of that, as cars and contacts in front, as Thomas Jones has to slip through all of them. Doesn't want to be a part of that at all. This little pack of cars slowly closing up here though. And this is sort of all behind Connor Buckley. Well, George also dropped down to P10, so he must have an issue as we were looking at the other issues up ahead. So, this George Buckley, Broadbent, Hans, and Pink are all in this little pack together, with Jordan is slowly closing in on the back of them. The reason not many people are here is we're conflicting with three other major streamers at the same time. Bit like, yeah. Anyway, turn 1 they go, or turn 2 as it's technically referred to on the track map. We're trying to slowly close the gap with each other while bonk. Biff back bonk. Okay. Thank you for that, Nath. Well, I don't have a proper co-commentator, I at least have chat. Some people can watch both. Broadbent does lose position to Buckley as all the cars get very close there through turn 2. I believe this little pack will be staying till the end as there's only 6 minutes to go. As the gap between the leaders is spreading out further and further. A couple of cars do go solo there, and George Ordner just make his way past Patrick. Broadbent goes down the inside through turn 7. Can Buckley make the comeback on the X? He's going to have the inside line going down the main straight, which would lead into the inside line to turn 1. A bit of door banging there between the two Opals. Broadbent's going to have the inside line, a bit of smoke from a lock-up cruise as he maybe goes a bit deep. He's going to have the inside line for the next corner, which then immediately turns to the outside line because it is a chicane. Unfortunately, the chicane has to stay with us just due to the nature of the track. Oh, a couple of cars go slamming into the wall there. I mean, our action going on elsewhere, but this is a big old pack, and who doesn't love the good old pack having a little fight? Oh, a little bit of contact there. We're back in the back. And then Broadbent does lose it, unfortunately. He does put a bit too much power down. And that's not the best thing to happen. Unfortunately, he now drops down to P10. He was running in P5. Going to be a bit annoyed about that, I think. More lockups up ahead. As now we start running into proper back marker traffic. There's more crashes going on at turn 2. A couple of static cars here between two cars. Don't know what's going on here. Pink's going to the pit lane. James West having a little pack fight here going on. I'm actually just preferring. I prefer to using the track map on screen compared to using the thing, because it's just so much easier to keep track of everything going on. I can see he'd be mad at that because it basically knocked him off completely. He's lost a couple of positions quite a lot of positions out of that little bit of contact, so I can see why he would be angry in that situation. Unfortunately, we were on the back wing, so you can see how much it affected him, apart from obviously he had to go very deep into the corner and then did lose it on power on trying to recover it. One car into the wall. That's Jordan over there trying to push it, trying to get it further, push it further and further, seeing how far he can push his car. All Hence managed to get past Buckley, so Buckley's been put back into his place before his punt. His punt to pass. 2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes remaining. Trying to work out where to lead, how many laps that'll be is nigh on possible. I think there's going to be 2 more laps. I think. As Thomas Jones is trying to cut through traffic as quick as he can, doesn't want to interfere him too much. He has got a 6-second lead. And I forgot to put the current standings up. I'm very sorry, I completely forgot about them all race. Well, there you go. There's your current standings. I do wish it was a bit tidier though. Well, George Jordan managed to get past Buckley as well. Under a minute to go. So there will be one more lap after this one. With the current position where Thomas Jensen is on track. As he crossed the line just now. There's been more contact at turn 1. What's going on here? A bunch of cars got knocked off and are going slowly. Okay. Don't know why they're doing that. Here's currently your race leader, Thomas Jensen. The time now reaches 0. He's going to cross the line and now, well not now, but as he comes out of turn 7. And he will take the checkered flag after what was a chaotic race, let's just say, at the Norris Ring, as it always is. There we go, crossed the line, comes home with a P1. You can have a shiny little trophy you can put in his coat cabinet. Charles Darling coming home in P4. Good traffic up ahead. Paul Hanson's going to come across it, followed by George Order and Buckley. Followed by Patrick. Jimmy Broadbent. Josh. Kapsov. Ross Stewart coming home in P13. And there we go, everyone is now finished. Thomas Jensen does win this race, followed by Lorenzo and Hilbert in third. And that is your top three, and you can read the rest. There we go. Now it's Norrisring, everyone. Why does this track exist? I honestly don't know. Is it a good idea for this track to exist? Probably not. I think Zolder will be next, if I am correct, unless something does change. Yes, it is Zolder. There we go. Welcome to Zolder, everyone. It's literally a meme. So everyone's slowly starting to roll out in practice session. I'm gonna quickly grab some water because my throat is going to literally die after Norrisring. So I'll be right back. In the meantime, you can just watch some cars go around for 12 minutes. Oh look, I'm gonna get a bunch of viewers now. Hello everyone, welcome back. I got water, so I won't die. Amazing. So it's Zolder, also known as track limits, the track. Oh look, my view goes up from 12 to 36. Thank you everyone. So yeah, welcome to Zolder. Everyone's still on an outlap, so we won't ever see any timed laps anytime shortly. I'm trying to work out. Okay, Pink is currently got track position. Doesn't matter. It's practice. Practice is always the hardest to talk about because it's nothing happening. It's just people doing laps and practicing. Anyway, Zolder. What can I say about Zolder apart from they say you cut the course? You're gonna have to slow down and get at the time. That's basically what's gonna happen. And I need to find a track map very quickly so I remember all the correct corner numbers. How awful Zolder is. It's not that bad a track, it's just a track limit, it's awful on it. That's the issue with it. As with auto directors on. No wonder I'm wondering why is it changing cameras by itself? Because auto directors on. Don't actually need that. Right. There are 10 corners at Zolder. Most of them are chicanes. It's 4 kilometers long in the current configuration, which has been running since 1985. Basically, they threw a bunch of chicanes in because, unfortunately, people had been killed racing here. Unfortunately, we don't like to hear about that, unfortunately, but it's the nature of the times back then. They added chicanes in to slow the racing down, especially the turn 7 one, I believe. Where's the game audio? Dead. Hang on. Why is my game audio gone? Fascinating. Why has it done that? It was fine earlier. Hang on, I got an idea. It's only practice, I can get away with this. I can get away with this. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Broke it again. This is what happens. I get like a bunch of people viewing. Stream dies. Hang on, let me just turn it all the way up. And now I'm going to deafen myself. It's just the nature of things when you try and do a stream and it breaks horribly. Right, there we go. We're back in. Hopefully, it won't be deaf. Hopefully you can actually hear something. Okay, there we go. What's wrong with my free entertainment? There we go. The best thing about having an amplifier for your headphones is I can turn it down through the amplifier, and then it doesn't deafen me. And I can turn it all the way up in game. Saying that, car does go wide. Here is Lorenzo. He's changed car now. It was on the Audi, now he's in the Mercedes. I'm just going to butcher people's names up horribly. You're going to have to live with it, because I can't pronounce names. So we're going to slowly get some timed laps in. Of course, because joining mid-session breaks everything, it's not going to work properly. Is Ross Stewart? Name butchering. I'm sorry. There's only 10 people racing right now. So who's still here then? Which, like, so Alden's still here. Lorenzo's still here. Pink's still here. Billy Brand's still here. That's just the rule. You just gotta have a simpler name. As Lorenzo decides to take the gravel as the racing line. I just butcher all the names. Like, if you watch any of the broadcasts earlier, it's like consistently 90% I butcher the names up. And then Erwin corrects them for me. Because Erwin can actually speak the names properly. Only reason he's on the stream. So 6 minutes left in practice before we head to the fun stuff, which is qualifying. Because this is qualifying. Apparently Lensman hasn't set a time yet, apparently, even though he's currently P4, so... Good job, game. Want to be looking good right now, not breaking horribly. Professional. Noted. Five minutes left in practice. Well, so much to talk about apart from how Zolder is just chicanes. I don't know why Zolder's a meme, to be fair. It's not the worst track ever. It's just full of chicanes and cut tracks. I believe, yes, this is the last race that is being hosted today by people. Why the sounds in this game sound better? Because... Trying to be non-biased here, because I'm incredibly biased. The way they record them is better. Most games, they generate the sounds using synths and stuff and electronically. The way that RaceRoom does it is they try and use pure recording as much as possible, which it creates issues with the Porsche. If you know the Porsche in this game, the GT3R, where you get a really loud transmission whine, it's because the recording itself has that transmission whine. They can't remove it. It's too hard to remove it. Whereas other games, they can artificially just remove it because the way they generate the sounds. It's just how it is done. It comes with its pros and cons. Obviously, if you make them generated through electronically, you get a couple of advantages. Like, again, you can remove stuff like transmission whine and things like that. Whereas RaceRoom, you're stuck with what you have recorded. Owen's right, we're just going to shut down RaceRoom. It's finished. Hey, Lorenzo's got time now. What we do now, we have to buy GTR 3. Kappa. Hang on a second, Thomas, I thought you weren't racing. Or you're just taking a break. And Charlie's there as well. So we've got a couple of people back. Well, GTR, we don't actually know what GTR 3, I don't even know, because it's not developed by Sector 3, developed by Simbin UK, so I have nothing to do with it, and neither does Sector 3, so I can't even just bother JF about it, really. Right, less than 2 minutes to go in this practice session before we can actually go and watch some qualifying happen, and I can actually commentate properly about some things happening. And butcher name. Simbin. Sector 3 is Simbin reformed. Simbin UK is different. Simbin UK is a completely different studio based in Manchester. Sector 3 is based in Sweden. Hang on a second, Charlie, you're meant to be in game. You can't be in here and be in game at the same time. That's dangerous. That's like text and driving. Can't do that. Alright, thank you for watching. You have a nice sleep. Sleep's important. Said no one. Ha. Now this is the NSU, it's got a Jägermeister delivery on it. It quite literally advertised drinking. It's a bit less people in this race, and I can't tell why. I mean, even Game of Muscle's gone. Oh no. Right, there we go, practice over. Practice is over, and we're going to head into qualifying. Right, who's going to get on track first? Yeah, by Tic Tacs, guys. The car says so. Here comes the qualifying rush. It's kind of a joke with the OVRC. Because when qualifying, it's always a massive rush to get out the pit lanes, but like, why? Commentators, we don't understand why people do it, because unless you're going to be first out, you're just compromising yourself, because you have traffic in the way immediately. I don't know. What do I know? Right, qualifying, here we go. Yeah, Tic Tacs exist. Tic Tacs exist. You can just walk into a shop in the UK and buy some. Oh! Bit sideways there. So the fastest drivers so far are Lorenzo Hilleband, George Ordner and Thomas Jensen. Only 10 drivers. It's a shame. Right, first time lap, here we go. Let's actually go on board because it's always fun to go on board. Right, here we go. Into turn 1 we go, brake. Quite late. There's no real obvious marker to brake into here. Go through there, use all the curb you can. Turn 2, again, no real clear braking marker. Hit the apex, roll out. Then you go for turn 3, which is a very, very, very gentle corner. Turn 4. Try not to go too wide, I was going to the gravel trap. And you got a short little sprint down into the first chicane, which is turn 5. Brake at the 100 meter board. Try and cut as much as you can get away with. Up this little hill through the very long turn 6. On the brakes into the second of the chicanes, turn 7. Try to do the same thing again. Try not to do that. Going to brake heavily for turn 8, the hairpin. Slow, and unfortunately, I believe he's going to pull over. Right, Charlie, finish the lap for us. Right, off we go. Out the hairpin, you go for turn 9, down to turn 10, which is another chicane. I'll use the same thing with the curbs. Look at that wheel movement to keep the car going in a straight line. And then you blast down to the start-finish line. And that is a lap of Zolder. Pretty simple, huh? So we're going to wait for a couple people to start setting timed laps now.
GG for commentating, by the way.
Oh look, I've been shilled. Thank you for donating that. I can't see you right now. Hang on, let me get Streamlabs up. Because I don't have it enabled on the broadcast overlays. quickly get your name up. Sorry, please don't hate me. George Warner setting a fastest sector, personal fastest sector 1. Thank you, Nafnaf, for the £5. I appreciate it. £5 could go to use, I don't know, buy something. Right, George Warner comes over to the crest now. Unfortunately, his lap has been invalidated for this time around, which means that Paul Hentz is the next quickest person on track to look at. He's coming to the end of the lap right now. Crosses the line to put himself, he's currently P6, but keeps himself P6, but does improve his time. First timed lap for Ross Stewart in the Tic Tac livery car. Improves his, doesn't actually improve anything because he's on his first lap, as he set a time. Got 3 people right now have yet to set times in the session. Through the final few corners he goes, blast down the straight. Where will he put himself? Doesn't seem to be a very good lap so far. Will probably keep himself P9. He puts himself, yep, P9. 4.8 seconds off the pace. I think a bit aggressive cut there on the chicane there. A bit too much airborne, I think. Charlie Darling improving both his sectors though. Looking to improve this lap. And towards the final 2 corners. Why does the track map count these as 1 corner? I don't know. It's confusing. Trying to get the power down as early as you can. Down for the quick straight towards the start finish line. Moves himself up to P3. Just above Thomas Jensen. Not just above, he's actually half a second quicker. Paul Hentz moves himself up. Thank you for subbing. I appreciate it. I'm like a small channel. It's the smallest channel. Using both Sector 1 and Sector 2. Actually, yeah, he's reset a lap, so this is actually an improvement. And quite a vast improvement so far, it seems. That Audi note, though, it's... a bit slow going through the final couple of corners there, getting a bit loose. Will he improve himself enough to move him out of P11? He swaps his round to P10. Paul Hentz aborts this lap. And Willis does have a bit of issue with traction, it seems, as he's sliding all over the place going out of the turn 7 complex. This track map is actually just terrible, let's realize this, because it counts the entire complex as turn 7. Anyway, head through turn 8. A quick short blast down to turn 10. Let's go. I believe it's actually been validated, I just noticed that. Thomas Jensen, fastest Sector 1. Improves his Sector 2, but not fastest overall. Here he goes, using a lot of curb on the exit there. Has one of the Tic Tac livery cars in front. He goes, there's a lot of curb there, and there's a lot of curb again, as the Tic Tac car in front does go off. I think it's Ross Stewart. So it's across the line, currently P6, will put himself P2. 0.3 of a second behind the current pole sitter. Meanwhile, Charlie Darling's a bit closer to that time in both sectors. Through the final corners once again. Can he pinch himself pole position? No, he doesn't. He puts himself P2, but he is getting closer. He's the second closest right now to the absolute time we have right now in the session, as the 5-minute mark is closing on us rapidly. Oh, and that's a big old spin there. Power down a bit too early, not enough traction. And please, everyone. George Ordner improves his Sector 1. That gets us a global fastest Sector 1 right now. He's going all the way down P7 right now, so he's looking to get a bit higher up that order. He does improve his personal Sector 2, but not by enough to, well, he actually is 2.2 of a second down on the overall fastest time. Like last couple of corners, can he move much further than he is right now? Going to move out P7 for definite. Well, he placed himself P3, so he knocks off Thomas Jensen out of the top 3. Paul Hans is looking to improve his times, improves his personal Sector 1. Does not improve his Sector 2, and that's a very, very, very slow Sector 2, so something must have happened during there. Either that, he doesn't have the pace to keep up. He's switching from Mr. George Ordner, sets a fast Sector 1 once again. It's a bit loose and exit there, and gets loose again on the exit of that corner, coming out of turn 7. Or complex 7. That's probably what it actually means on this track map I'm using. I'll get a better one for next time I run this older race. And it does lose him a bit of time into Sector 2. Doesn't improve it though, but not much by much as he could have done. Maybe if he was a bit cleaner through that couple of corners. On the start finish line, stays P3, does lose a lot out in Sector 3. Oh, another car pulls off to the side, probably will return to the garage. There we go. Hence this time on the faster lap, looks like he's trying to move himself out P7. The line, does not move out of P7. Ordner looking to improve improve Sector 1. Can he keep this momentum going into Sector 2? He keeps improving Sector 1. And there we go, he improves Sector 2. With 1 minute left to go. Down now to the last 2 corners. As one of the other cars goes a bit very sideways at the last corner there. Not what you want to be doing. And he gets very close to P2. Thomas Jensen improves sector 1, does not improve sector 2, and loses out in sector 3, does not improve his time. And that pretty much sums up the end of qualifying. A quick rundown of the order. Hopefully no one changes in that time, because I think that's it. Unfortunately a smaller grid compared to the other races. But maybe my job a bit easier, my throat less dead at the end of it. The top 4 are very close together though, so it's always good to see. Right. Time for the countdown before the race begins. Notice how wide the starting grid is on this track. Like the start boxes are really far apart. Look at that space in the middle where you can dive up the middle. The grid shouldn't take too long to fill up because only 11 cars. Should be a bit calmer compared to Norris Ring. Alright, there we go. All cars now on track. Let's see what will... As the lights will go... Out, there we go. Right, off for the last race of tonight at Zolder. Very clean getaway by the leaders, but Jordan will have the inside line in the first corner and will probably manage to get in front. Saying that no, he's going to have the outside line for the second corner, so it may be a case of Daniel getting the lead again. Charlie Darling looking to make a move with these two as well, sneaky up the middle of the two. He does seem to be doing that right now, coming out of the turn 4. Does toss him behind for now though. Into the first chicane we go, and let's see what happens through this case. Over the crest they go into the second of the chicanes. Pack slowly thinning out. See you now. Now we're getting down to the hairpin. Holding a bit wide on exit there. A few others do the same. Stuart has a bit of issue there. And the final 2 corners. And there's the first lap completed. Currently Daniel is currently leading the race in the front. This is his view from this rear wing. Goes very wide though, out of the turn 1 though, and may lose position now. Jordan goes a bit sideways there, loses a lot of traction. And Jordan's right up behind him now. Jordan looking to make a move as well, got the slipstream. So be a bit careful side by side as she came for the front 2. And very aggressive going over the chicanes there. Jordan looks to have dropped back for now. No, he's still side by side. Johnny going to go a bit on the grass there. Thomas Jensen having a fight with Nicholas behind. Now he's got to deal with Lorenzo behind him. Right, down to order is staying mostly the same, it seems, for the top 3 at least. Switched around for P4 and 5 though, as the top 7 are slowly breaking away from the remaining people behind. As Nicholas is looking to make a move now onto Charlie Darling. Order trying to make the gap up with him, with Danielle in front. About even through the chicane. The chicanes are the big point where you gain a lot of time on this track. If you can do them well, you gain a lot of time by doing them. Getting very up close to the behind now, but gear changes seem to be a bit longer. Actually go behind as Jensen goes very, very deep into the hairpin. And just right, we're gonna hit the 15-minute mark any second now. The spectator orders a quick refresh, and Order's lost a lot of time now. He's 0.8 of a second behind now, so he lost a bit of time there. Either that, or Daniel's found some time from somewhere through that first couple of corners. There are flashing lights going on from the cars behind. Nicholas trying to go to the back of Charlie Darling. Both of them BMW, so both exactly the same car. Only difference performance will be based completely on setup. As if both are running different setups, it could be just running baseline. Inside line for Nicholas though. We'll turn to the outside though. Charlie just stayed in front, but now he's going to have a lot of slipstream and I believe a slightly better exit. Charlie pulls all the way to the outside. And Nicholas managed to pull in front. And Nicholas now into P3. Charlie looking to make the move back though. Back out very quickly out of turn 4. A bit slow, and Charlie goes into gravel. So a bit slow as contact with Nicholas there, and Charlie ends up losing out and drops all the way down to P7. A lot of work to do in the next 12 minutes to get anywhere close to where he wants to be. I'll have to look at that again to work out if there's really anyone at fault there, but generally going side by side into a chicane is not really the best idea. Yes. Hill got passed by Jensen, and I believe because of the incident between the two then. Hence is now gaining on the back of Hill just now. As the pack is slowly splitting up in certain areas. Charlie Darling to make a move. Trying to close on the back of Lorenzo. Paul Hentz closing the back of Hill, and that's what's going on right now. The gap between Daniel and Ordner is expanded to at least over a second now. Actually, no. Ordner must have an issue then, because he's dropped, and now Thomas Jensen's right on the back of him, coming into the hairpin. Coming around the outside. Jensen's going to have the inside line for the next corner, but they're going to be side by side coming into it. We make the switchback work. Jensen goes very sideways on the exit there. But Blue actually got a better exit there, and might have just gained. So Jensen makes position up. Saying that, goes very slow out of the exit of turn 1. Alright, hit the 10-minute mark. And the top 3 positions have us marked. Jordan goes a bit very wide out of turn 3 there. Or that's turn 4 actually. No, that's turn 4. Pushing a bit too hard, it would seem, to try and make the positions back which he lost out of his mistake earlier. A bit of pressure being put onto him now, it would seem. Hans has managed to get past Hill, it seems. And is leading the little BMW little pack. Minus that Jensen's managed to get in front now. Charlie's trying to close in the back of Hill as well now. Hill goes a bit sideways through the exit there. There's a lot of cars seem to be doing right now. Interestingly, Hans has pulled very early to the pit wall. So I think I do have a retirement. As one of the cars, I believe, is static and is in the pit. So we have 1 retirement. As Ordner's once again back in the gravel. So he seems to be trying to push a lot to try and catch up again. He's actually losing time, because now Hentz is now was just a brief second, under a second to him. And I completely ignore the fact that Charlie did get past Hill. While trying to look at all the other things. There's a bit of contact there, very aggressive into the hairpin then by Hill. Bars Charlie out of the way there to try and get past. I mean, if I was reviewing that, I mean, that was a very aggressive dive bomb there. Now Charlie's got to deal with Lorenzo behind. What's going on here? Okay, I believe a cut track happened because Charlie went straight through him. Fascinating. Up and Hill. Well then. Okay. Guess that has happened. On stream, good job. How to make yourself look like an Atta Pratt. I don't really have much to say other than how. Anyway. It was a good race until then. Right, back to good stuff then. So, thought it's just somewhat broken the racing up for us, as everyone's sort of over a second gap between everyone now. The closest to is Paul Hant, Charlie Darling and George Osner trying to close in on each other. They say you got the cause, you need to slow down and give the time gained. So, Paul Hans' charge to try and get to George Ordner begins, and Charlie Darling trying to make his positions up, because remember he lost a bunch of positions to believe Hill earlier, with a bit of contact coming through the first chicane, so... I mean, anyone remembering Monza 2017? Tick the radio message? No? Okay, I'll move on. Not everyone that cares about F1, I know that. Paul has lost a bit of time though on the back of George Ordner. George's had a bit of time to find. The leader's pitting now. No. Speaking of leader, here's your leader. We actually have a chance in one of these races to actually do this. All the race has been too hectic to actually just do a quick shot of the leader doing laps. Coming over the crest now, he's leading, having a gap of 1.5. Speaking though, Audi in the barrier. So we have one of the Audis in the barrier of Josh. He seems to be stuck there. Ross Stewart's going to be heading past him any second now, so he, for whatever reason, is... Oh, he's off moving again. Don't know what was going on there, but... I mean, I guess... I mean, unfortunately, we can't see what actually happened there, but... He was into the barrier, and there's a safety... Code 80... Speaking of getting closer, Thomas Jensen is closing the gap for Daniel. Oh, he's off again. Oh, there we go, in the pits. So he's retired. Thomas Jensen taking a trip into the gravel there. Unfortunately, the gravel does not improve your lap times. Little fact. Using gravel to try and speed your car up does not work. Thomas Jensen's under a second now to Danielle, so saying that, goes very wide there and loses all of that time. Again, I cursed him by just doing the onboard, just curses people to make a mistake. He's now dropped 1 point, over a second behind now. Charlie Darling is getting closer though to the car in front. I mean, yeah, Jensen's doing what Osner did earlier, which is just keep going wide and pushing too hard. So this is what Paul Hansing's in his rear view mirror pretty much, is a whole load of other BMW as Charlie is closing that gap. It's under half a second now between these two cars. Charlie gets a bit of a better exit there out of the chicane. Gonna go side by side into this one, maybe? Yes, it looks like it. No. Decides to eventually hold back for now. No point to rush it. Saying that though, there's only 1 minute 30 seconds left in this race to make a move happen. So he's somewhat got a bit of pressure put onto him now. And I believe this will be the last lap now, as our leaders will be crossing the line very shortly. Speaking of the leaders, they're also getting a bit closer now to each other, as Thomas Jensen managed to make all the gap up, so either Daniel's going very slowly or having an issue. Because he is. As they are very close to each other now, under 0.2 of a second. But I believe it's actually Jensen managed to pick some speed up, because the gap between him and the Ordner has also increased. Right, into the first chicane they go. I probably should just holding back, but there's only 20 seconds left to go. So he's got to make the move now, or he's not going to make it ever. He's got this chicane and a hairpin to pretty much make the move. Very defensive there by Daniel, but Jensen does have just enough room to make it work. He has to get enough traction side by side now, going toward. Down they go. Dan's going to have the inside line now on the hairpin. He's going to try and make a cutback work. Doesn't make it quite work. Is he going to be have another chance now into the last corner? Side by side once again. The time is up. This will be the last 2 corners to go. Daniel's just parking the car on the apex. Jensen can't do anything. George takes a big power slide. Side by side now. I think Jensen just got it. Jensen got it. That was an ending. It's a bit annoying. There we go. Oh. Did Daniel run out of fuel or something? His car's just pulled off over to the side. I think he ran out of fuel. I think that's what happened there. Daniel's running out of fuel the last couple of laps. He underfueled, which is why it explains why he went so slow. Because his car is pulled over to the side of the track, and the ignition's off, and the AI does not turn the ignition off normally. There we go, as the last Ross Stewart heads across the finish line now to take home P8. Unfortunately, not a very good race, but every race is about having fun and getting experience, I find, and unless you're me and you get angry all the time. So there we go. The last race of the night. Thomas Jensen takes 2 races victories tonight, unless he took the first one. I don't know what happened in Hockenheim, honestly. I was not there, unfortunately. But there you go, there's your results for the Zolder race, the last race of tonight. And it was a very close end, let's just say. Because obviously we don't actually know the fuel levels, so it's a bit like guessing what's going on. I hope you all enjoyed that though, because it's been a good night of racing, I think. Yeah. Alright. Is any more much to say? Not really. I was going to say thank you for everyone for joining in this, for watching this broadcast of this community night kind of thing, which the kind people over at the Jim of Broadbent's Discord have managed to kindly host for us to use and allow me to do a broadcast for, and it's been a good time, I think. Hope everyone did enjoy it. I hope I didn't muck the broadcast up too much, because it was literally rushed out. Like, actually last second kind of thing. But anyway, there's not much else to say other than obviously to join my league, because you should. It's very good, okay? We have GT3. And maybe new other cars soon, TM. Anyway, I won't shield too much because it's not really my job. It is, actually. Thank you for subscribing, by the way, people who did subscribe. Thank you for the donation, NAF, earlier. I know you've gone off now, I think. Anyway. And again, thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm going to keep saying that because I've got nothing much else to say. I'll be heading off now. There won't be any streams tomorrow, by the way, for anyone who's just a regular to here. No streams tomorrow. Streaming back on Monday, though. Right, fuck's water well down. Right. Again, thank you for tuning in. I'll be off.